Oh boy, I'm running late. No, I'm not running late. Good morning, good morning. As I said, I'll just do it and jump on. People have asked me, and I don't mind. I just said, okay, I'll be here. All right, just for a second. And so here is, once again, our morning train song. Reason why I like this song so much is because it gives you a thought of purpose and where you're going. So by the time you see this, it'll probably be gone. I'll probably be going out the door. And so shout outs to everybody who's up already. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to every mother out there. I would say happy Mother's Day to my wife and my mom first, but you know, they not watching me right now. So to all the mothers that's watching me right now, happy Mother's Day. And God bless you. To those who are just godparents, godmother, whatever, like a mother, you know, the single aunt, you know, with no children that watch everybody else's children, shout out to you too for doing the job that you do. No, we know you're not the child's mother, but you do the best that you can to help in the situation and be a motherly like figure. My man, Eric, you are here and you got your coffee. And so I'm just going to play. You know what it is? I got to play this song for me. That's the funny thing. I actually have to jump on and just, you know, play this morning train song because it just kind of helps me out. Am I hot? Okay, mic's not hot. It just kind of helps me out, and so I play it, you know, just to do that. And so let me see if I can find it. You know what's crazy, Eric? I had it sitting up here, and then I'm like, okay, where did I put it? So let me consolidate this and then find this right here, and we got it. Let's go. If I was good like some of these other folk out here, but I'm not good like the other folk. I would cut a single. It'd go a little something. And it'd go a little something like this. Here we go. Bass. I'm going home. That's it. On the morning train. Oh, I'm going home on the morning train. Because the evening train just made me too late. Said I'm going home on the morning train. Oh, I'm going home on the morning train. I need some volunteer singers to jump on this song. I'm going home on the morning train. The evening train just made me too late. The evening train just made me too late. The evening train just made me too late. So I'm going home on the morning train. Somebody come on, just put your hands together. Your hands together. Whoa. See, this is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Say yeah. The evening train just made me. The evening train just made me. Make you feel good on a Sunday morning, don't it? Just made me too late. So I'm going home. Yes, I am on the morning. Somebody just put your hands together. Said it may be too late. I got a word for you on that. Be too late. I like this. I wanna be ready for when it comes. Anybody out there say hello? Give me some thumbs up or something like that. Let me hear you say, oh, oh, oh. Say yeah. Let me hear you say, oh, oh, oh. Cough, let's strong today. Come on. The evening train just made me. The evening train just made me too late. The evening train just made me. Okay, I don't have a full 20 minutes today. On the morning train. Yeah. All right. So, I'm just going to put some Darian music on in the background. Shout out to Darian Brister, who's probably at Sharon right now, wherever he's playing at, the maestro. So, interesting thing that I learned about life, right? And being too late. I ran into someone when I was out of town on the West Coast. Somebody just with a lot of money in their pocket, a lot of money. And it was a job that I had to do and some work. And we got into talking about life, vaccination, COVID, how life changes and stuff, and then things that we react to. So there was a debate going on small debate about vaccination, not vaccinated, how we deal with COVID, vaccination is poison and COVID's not real, and this, that, and the third, all of this stuff, right? It's not the COVID argument I'm talking about, because it was fine. Everybody respected everybody's opinion. But it made me think, and I had a Nicodemus moment, and for sake of, not putting everybody's business out there, I had a Nicodemus moment with somebody. And you end up talking about salvation, but you actually open up, you have the opportunity to discuss whether you really believe that COVID was real or not. You had to respond and react to it in some way, shape, or form. There was enough going on around that it affected the world around you. It doesn't matter what your position was on it. It doesn't matter if you like, oh, X, Y, and Z. But eventually, in my reality, even people that didn't even bother with it, they ended up getting it. So shout out to Pastor Eric Mason, who got his taste back. That's a word right there. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. But nonetheless, it affected him in a certain way. There's other people it affected him a certain way. I just believe that I'm a healthy person, but knock on wood, anything could happen. I finally got COVID, right? And this is after vaccination. And, I got sick enough, but it wasn't too bad for me. It was worse for my wife, but not that bad for me. No hospitalization. But I thought about the fact of how the reality of the disease of sin happened. That, we were born into sin, born in iniquity, and sin affects us all. Then I started thinking about death, where death shall soon disrobe us all, which means tomorrow's not promised to everybody, right? And somewhere along the road, life runs out. You once was young, now I'm old, never seen the righteous forsaken, whatever. Then there's also the reality of, there's gray hair that kicks in. I had long hair, now I don't have any hair, and I got hair on my chin. And so that lets us know that there's a path in the journey that we go on where life is going to shift and soon end. Old saying that we have, death may soon disrobe us all from what we now possess. So possessions is not even that deep. Even though it's good to have a lot of possessions ain't even that deep. Jim, what's going on, brother? And so the reality of the fact that we have to respond some way, shape, or form, or not, the lack of response for some people to COVID. So watch this here. Some people responded by putting a mask on. Some people didn't. Then they even had a mandate, which frustrated people because it brought awareness to, I must do something, even if I don't believe in it or not. There are people that get up every Sunday, they go to church, people that go to Bible study, people that enter their word, people that pray, and they do all of these different things, right? But that's in response to what we believe a reality is that sin has entered the world, and sooner or later, yes, definitely, we are not going to be here. We know it because we have heavenly birthdays. We have certain things that go on in life where, our loved ones have passed away. There are people now that, on Mother's Day, they don't have their mother here. Why? Because their mother's gone on to another place. Notice I said another. I just leave it right there, another place. And we are all going to go to another place. What we know is, for a guarantee, we won't stay here because you keep on living. And one day, old song says, you'll look around one of these mornings. David, if you remember this song, one of these mornings, it won't be very long. You'll look for me and I'll be gone. So just as sure as I'm here right now, and you see my face, I'm live on this internet, YouTube, and Facebook, there's a day that's going to come where all you're going to have is the clips. Said person passed away recently. There's controversy on the life that they lived. Now watch this here. The life that you live speaks for you. The sad reality is people keep speaking after your life is technically over. And then the Bible also says, and their works do follow them. So there's a following of the works that you do. So this is why I look at having peace. And if you don't have peace, you reach for that peace that transcends all understanding, that keeps your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Because once you're gone, there's still a consistency of something of the remnant of who you were while you were here, that you still are to certain people's reality. And so the impact that you have on people while you're living, we want to be conscious about that. And so we love the best we can. We do the best we can. And if we can't really do nothing, forgiveness is always the option. Even if it's a struggle, even if it takes you a long time, forgiveness is the option that helps. Okay? Yes, Thank you, Jim. I'm trying, man. Yo, Jim, see you bowling. Go ahead, bowl a 300 for me this day. But yeah, and thanks, Dave. Yes, it is a true word. So your works follow you, and so every day that you live, you want to live it to the fullest. The fullest don't mean that you got to be you broke today and a millionaire tomorrow. It doesn't mean something else, but the reality of how you live and how you do life, there's an impact that it has. And if you care enough about people, it'll shape your life into being impactful for other people. So because I have to rush and get my bearings together, I was just coming on here to add some joy today. I had a lot more that I wanted to talk about and get my 20 minutes in, but I wasn't able to do it. And so I wanted to be consistent, because I think people really need like something happy on a Sunday morning. Of course, you got your churches you go to, you have your pastor, you have people that you connect with in the sanctuary, or if you're not a church person, you do your routines and all of that stuff. Got it. But sometimes people do need some kind of lift or joy. So that's all I was coming to do this morning, and that's about it. Back on that piece I talked about ministering to people that aren't really church people, they're going to come to the realization that the impact of knowing that life starts and it ends. And in the old song it says, do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? That's not a church hymn, but that's a song that makes you think that I'm just not going to be here always. And so I must consider. And then when we look at the reality of stuff like COVID, we see the impact that it had on this world, and we're still seeing the remnants of it. We are still catching the remnants of it, and it's still got people looking and either masking and unmasking because they believe. Now, if you notice, when people cough now, you have a conscience on regular cough. And so as life changes, as the world goes on, as you see the war in Ukraine, as you see different tensions going on, as you see global warming problems and stuff, and coastal erosions and things happening, it starts to bring the reality. In every dispensation of life, in every iteration of growing up, in every generation that happens, there's an awareness that Jesus is real. There's an awareness that God exists. There's an awareness. And yes, we have all our doctrinal issues. We have all our contextual issues and stuff. But if we just at least agree on love God and love your neighbor and get to work on that, that will shape a lot of our problems. Okay, it's not going to fix everything in anybody's generation, in my opinion, because perfection is when we get the glory. Those of us who believe that, that's the perfection part. In between that time, there's a work that we do, and because we have the ministry of reconciliation, that's the glue that pulls us together and brings us peace in the midst of everything that we're going through. It's the peace that transcends understanding. Because every day we're trying to understand things. What meaneth these things? And as we're trying to understand, as we gain understanding, we still need that element of peace, because the transcending of that which we understand. And if we understand, hey, people actually don't like me. If we understand people are evil, if we understand everybody's not on the same page, where's the peace in that? And that's where you need peace of God that transcends understanding, because our spirit is connected with something that's beyond this. We're not always stuck in here. We're not tethered to and stuck and glued in this world. So there's a thought pattern that the believer has, that even in spite of what we're going through, there's something else. I remember in Hebrews how it says that these all died in faith, having not received the promise. And so their eyes and their faith and their movement throughout a whole life having not received the promise, dying having not received the promise, their whole journey was focused on that which was beyond them. And so when we think about looking not on things that are seen, but the things that are unseen, that is what the world says, imagine. If I can imagine, do you want to build a snowman type mentality? Well, the believers, we have a home over in Zion, and believing and understanding that Christ died for our sins is one of the most powerful things to even wrestle with in life. And so I love you all. I wanted to stick with a Mother's Day thing, but shout out to all the mothers. I'm wearing pink because that was the closest thing I could get. I put my nice little shirt on because I look buff in it, but it's cold outside. Somebody help me out. Where did the cold come from? It's cold outside. Now I'm thinking like, so here's the question I had that's not church related. Could I actually wear a turtleneck today because it's so cold? Am I in violation because it's spring? Would people judge me if I put it's a light turtleneck, but I mean, my God, it's a little cold outside. I just came back from the West Coast where it was hot, and I come back here and I felt like I stepped into winter. Like somebody just fast forwarded to October or something like that. So y'all pray my strength. I'm out of here because I'm babbling right now. David, you said put it on, but you know what? I'm playing today. So meet me. If you're just floating around Philly, meet me at Southern Baptist Church on 5th and Venango. Happy Mother's Day. We have a wonderful preacher on today. Y'all see I'm farting around because I'm not preaching today. So that's why I snuck my little preach right here. I'm going to drink my coffee on the highway, and at about 9:45, I will make it in about a half an hour. Yeah. And so I can set up. Shout out to my boy Jersey jumping on the drums with me today. We's going to have a good time. Happy Mother's Day to my wonderful sister, Michelle Ferguson, who helps me out with praise and worship. She is awesome. We are two old people that try to do the best we can, early 50s, and we sing to the glory of God. We have us a good old time. And so Mr. Bass Fingers right here. Yes, David Hunt. I'm running bass line with my left hand, and the B3, it's not a B3, it's a electric, it's a H112 111, but I got the Leslie and everything. The bass on there is phenomenal. And so me and my boy Jersey, we're going to chop it up. Shout out to my cousin Jarrett, who was playing with me last week. Marvin, you got a scarf on. See, everybody, shout out Pastor Marvin Harris is in the comment section. Marvin, he's in Hattie Richardson, happy Mother's Day to you. Nice. Yeah, listen, so Marvin, you got a scarf on, so I'm going to put that scarf on. David Hunt said put the turtleneck on. David, what state are you in? I forgot what state you in, but yeah, turtleneck might make me hot in church once I get rolling, but yeah. All right, so I'm going to I got my scarf. I'm going to put my scarf on. Where's my scarf? My scarf is right out there. I'm going to put my scarf on. Shout out to everybody who we start wearing sneakers now. You know, we got the church clothes on, but we put sneakers on now. So you got to get with the trend. I learned that from the young boys. Massachusetts, that's why you going to put a turtleneck on, because you up in Massachusetts. You should put a turtleneck on. So listen, y'all know I leaves on this other song, Joy. I'm going to leave out on that. I'm just going to put my turtleneck, not my turtleneck, I'm going to put my scarf on. I got my microphone stand, so I'm ready to sing. There's an awesome word today. We're going to have a good time. Get out. And look, shout out to everybody that's going to stand in long lines. If you didn't make reservations to eat food that they're just going to rush out the door. And then shout out to the people that's really going to cook for moms today. All right. Darren Metz, what's going on? Drum extraordinaire. Dude. The John Legend show is the bomb. Shout out to Man Roberts. Man is killing it. Eugene Roberts is crushing it, okay? Crushing it. All right, people, enjoy your day. Is there a link to the stream? No, it's no link. No, David. Listen, this was crazy. I want to tell y'all something. Virginia in the house. That's got to be my cousin Clementine. Culture Punch Studios, good morning. What's going on? Now, listen. Here's something I'm going to push at y'all. So I work in certain type of strategies. David, I got you, church service. So if you notice here, I put a setup together, in the house, right? And so get off of that. Let's go to you. Okay. I put a setup in the house, right? And the way I tweaked it was because of COVID. And I put it like this: seek first the kingdom, and all of his righteousness, and and all these things shall be added unto you. Now, here's the thing. Doing that, and Darren, I'm going to say a word here on quiet in doing, right? There's a Diana Gladney. David Hunt understands this, and a few others. Diana Gladney has this shirt says, learn and do. And in that, we say do and learn. So in learn and do and do and learn, we do things not just haphazardly, but we do it in a way that we think excellency and pleases God. Faith cometh by hearing. And then I learned in this, people hear about what they see in the internet realm, because you scroll on Facebook. Y'all know I'm not lying. You scroll on Facebook, and if it look pleasing to the eye, you'll punch the little speaker to hear what's going on, right? You don't just open it up to hear, because you can just go to a podcast, but you look on social media and then you choose to listen. That's the realm that we're in, and knowing like Issachar and understanding the times, right? Tribe of Issachar, understanding the time. So when you take in this COVID, I started building this room based on the priority to preach, because faith comes by hearing, so that people can hear. And so if people hear about what they see, I didn't want to look boring. And so I started putting all this stuff together, right? You start doing this stuff, had the camera angles when you're telling the story. And now it's not all about the organ tuning you up. And won't he do it? Won't he make a way? Oh yeah. And everybody dancing around the room. No, get understanding. This is the season for understanding, while people was trying to feel church. God didn't leave you hanging. God didn't take away the feeling of the Holy Ghost in church. It was a time to learn. And so a lot of people miss that time to learn. So now, as people are getting back into service, the problem is people are sitting at home and they're trying to wait and see what's going on in their own church rather than be a part of the church. I know some preacher needed that right now. We're struggling with members that want to sit back and look into. Now, David, I'm not talking about you, because I'm not talking about the out of state, Clementine, different people out of state. I'm talking about our locals that are waiting to look into their own environment rather than be a part of their own environment, so that people that aren't in your environment, when they look into your environment, because they can't get to or be in your environment, you are being a blessing to them. So telecasting and like going live is the live of people that are living in the room. And so most churches don't have enough living people in the room to show on lives. Now, that's not my reason, because God exceeded my expectation, because I thought it was going to be 3-4 people in church, and the church starts to get packed. I'm good with that. But at the end of the day, I have an attention on the people in the room, so that when you show, you are not advertising what you cannot deliver. I wish somebody would hear me right now. Some churches are investing in their video and stuff, and they're going with the trend. And I have to start in consultations asking preachers, what exactly are you showing? Because you don't need 5 cameras if there's nobody to show. And then you don't want to show people if there's nobody to show. The main thing is getting the word out and connecting with people who can't get to church. And so anybody that's listening right now, be very careful if you are a part of a church and you looking for the live stream every Sunday. Something wrong with that, because maybe they need you there to project out live to the people that can't get into your church. Help me, somebody. I'm leaving on that note. We got to be in the building, right? So that when people who can't get to when I say can't, are not in proximity of the sanctuary, not in proximity of the pew. Their pew has to be the phone. It's not an option for them. And so that's the thought that we need to have about going back into the sanctuary, more so than, ooh, check out what we doing in here. No, we in has to put us in the place so that we can show out. Okay? I'm out the door on that note. Peace out, people.